this is Sam the Frugal Hugel Gardener. I'm outside first thing in the morning after draining and dredging my pond. I made it deeper. I broke through the hard pan. I squatted off, and now it's down to nice sand on the bottom. I love it. And it's nice and level. And what I want to do now, since the water table's rising and natural water from our water table is seeping into it, I'm not adding any water. I want to go ahead and make a organic biofilter to help the pond filter itself, keep the algae out, feed the fish, feed the frogs, let birds land on it, and so forth. So I'm going to make a couple of them, but I'm going to start with one prototype. So I like doing everything frugally, where I don't have to purchase anything, and so I can show you how to do it on the cheap, if not free. So I always save plastic containers. This is from my soy milk, but whether it's milk, water jugs, or whatever have you, I like these because they're really solid. Unlike water jugs are thin, this is gonna last a long time and has a nice sturdy cap on it. I'm gonna use these as my floats because the biofilter has to float. So what I started doing is I walked around to see what I could use to hold them in a circle together. And I was gonna use this tubing for my irrigation, but then I thought, no, it's gonna lose shape. I still need to put netting or something in the middle. And I just didn't like the way they were all clinging together. So I went around my yard and I found some of my welded 2x4 fencing, which I have a lot of scrap fencing that I picked up from scrap piles, and they're bent out of shape. I could probably use some of it, but I buy rolls of new stuff. But in either case, it was laying around, it's scrap, it's free. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a nice section out of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and attach my floats to it, and I'm going to show you the progress so you can see how it does and you can make your own. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and take my wire cutters and square this off, and then we're going to go ahead and secure these to it. Okay, so I was able to get two 5-foot by 5-foot sections out and one 5-foot by 8-foot section, and I'm going to start with 3 biofilters in the pond. So let's get to work on them. Okay, so now that I have them all attached, I want to flip it over because this is the way it's going to be in the water, and I want to see if it floats naturally like this. It will move. You can stiffen up the ends if you want with PVC or anything you want. I want to try it just like this alone before I go ahead and add another product or expense. I think the plants will be good just like that. I put some string on it. Okay, so let me just take this and throw it in the water. Okay, so there it is. It's floating. It looks good. Now I want to go ahead and get the rest done and add some mesh to it that the plants are going to be on. And I'm going to go around my property and see if there's anything that I could utilize to stiffen that up a little bit, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let me see if there's anything that I could put across there that I have that won't add a lot of weight, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and cut some bamboo. I trimmed off the branches and I cut them. And now I'm going to go ahead and zip tie them like a raft on the bottom side. So let me get that done and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I started zip tying the bamboo down, but then I decided to get some wire. And the wire is just some broken up fence, the same material. So I went ahead and put wire in the center and all the way around. These are zip tied, but I'm probably going to go ahead and wire these two later. So for now, okay, so now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to test it right now for you, but I'm going to go ahead and put material over this. You could use screen or ground cloth or whatever you have. I happen to have some ground cloth, so I'm going to put ground cloth on it. That'll hold dirt on it and it'll allow the roots to grow through it. Okay, so there it is. It's floating really nice. I'm liking it. That will hold everything up out of the water. And as you put weight on it, it'll press it down towards the water a little bit more. I think that's a plan. Of course, I'll put like 3 going across and have it anchored. I'm going to have aerators and stuff like that, but that's the beginning of it. Okay, it's a work in progress, and I think it's turning out good. So let me go get some ground cloth, and we'll go ahead and cut it and see how it looks. Okay, so what I decided was I'm going to utilize the screen instead of the ground cloth. The ground cloth I bought in big rolls. It's expensive, and I'm going to use that in my garden as replacements. And the screen, I have a nice big roll, and I could just go ahead and cut the screen and it doesn't unravel. To where the ground cloth, you have to burn the edges or it unravels. So let me go ahead and put the screen on. And the other determination was the screen is the right width. I just got to cut the length a little bit. So I like the screen idea better. Okay, so I put it around. It's overhanging that side. It overhangs here. I'm going to let this side overhang and drape down a little. That's okay. It doesn't have to be exact. Why cut it level when you could have it drape over and the plants will cling to it with the roots and come down? Okay, so you see what I mean here? I'm going to let it drape down just like that. So the roots, the plants, the roots could go through there. It could cling on and come down to the water. The frogs and will be able to climb up. The roots that are growing through, the fish will be able to eat on it. It creates shade on the bottom. So relatively, I think that's really nice. So all I have to do now is secure it in the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots. So I could put a hole through there and there and put some zip ties through it. Let me go ahead and do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I went ahead and zip tied that all the way around. All I did was poke 2 holes through it, loop the zip ties through, and secure it to the bamboo. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it in and see how it floats. Okay, so there it is. It's floating really nice. I like it. So now all I need to do is put some plants in there. Just kind of go ahead and put a little hole, put the root of the plant in there, make sure it doesn't fall through. And those roots should wick up the water and survive. I don't know what kind of plants yet. I'm thinking of some mint or something that will cover that whole thing really good and really fast. So let me look around and see what I can put on there. Okay, so I'm anxious to set this up so I can put some plants on there and get some plants starting to root. So I just went around the property and picked some up. I got a basil here. These are just some crawling plants that grow really good and they like water. This is some good composted chips. And I have some good sand from the bottom of the pond. So I'm going to spread that out and then start planting right on there right now. Okay, so I dragged this over to where I could work on it. I put some plants on it. I put the sand and some compost, and I have my mint plant there. It's buoyant, a little higher in some places, a little lower in some places. So maybe the next one I do, I'm going to put a little bit more floats on there. But for now, this is good, so I can see how it does. Okay, so I have some plants on it. And I went ahead and drug it from that side all the way around to this side. It's on a string, so I could pull it over this way if I want. This is my test. So I think it's working out great, but on my next one, I'm going to put some more bamboo and I'm going to raise it up probably about another 2 inches off of the water. But that looks really good just like that. Some spots are above the water and some spots are touching the water, and it's allowing for that to get wet. Now I'm going to have to research online and find out which aquatic plants would do better on the islands, but there's going to be one there, one on that side, and the larger one in the center. I'm going to have aeration and a fountain. So it's nice to have a game plan. It's really nice when a game plan comes together. When I initially did the pond, I wasn't done, but now that I'm done, I could go ahead and start adding islands, fountain, aeration, and aquatic plants and make this into a nice ecosystem. Okay, so for anybody that knows about ecosystem ponds, koi ponds, aquatic plants, what kind of plants would do good on the islands, and what type of plants would do good in the water down below in pots or connected to the dirt on the side without taking over and being invasive, but staying in little sections, looking good, giving oxygen, making the water filter really good and be livable for fish. I want the koi fish to eat on some plants and have the plants grow quick enough so the koi don't destroy them. And I want other plants that just give off oxygen that the koi fish are not going to eat, because I want this to be nice looking all the way around and on top of my islands. So if anybody knows what's the name of some good plants, I'll research it and start adding some nice vegetation into my koi pond. As the water table gets higher, the water should start getting cleaner, and in other words the sediment, and hopefully not grow algae, or at least a little bit of the good type, and not the bad type, you kind of know what I'm fishing for. I just want a good, user-friendly, fish-loving, aquatic filtration system pond. I want it to get clear. I want the fish to enjoy. So hopefully somebody's got some knowledge. Give me some good advice down below, because I'm researching now, and I would love for you to share your ideas or your thoughts, or even tell me about a different site or YouTube channel or something like that I could watch the video, or go to the site that tells you more about the plants, because I'm researching it now. A club would be great. We have a koi club in Port Orange, Florida. I'm signing up as a member. There's a koi rescue person there that goes around the state and rescues koi. He's going to go ahead and stock me up once this turns into an ecosystem. I wouldn't want the koi in there now because the water's murky from all the sediment of me moving around in there. But once it settles and once it gets clear, once I have vegetation growing, then I'm going to introduce some koi. And from the koi rescue person, he'll give me some, and I got a big area, so I should probably be able to have, 20 or 30 koi, I'm not sure. But I want enough food and vegetation for the koi and a nice environment. So help me out if you're knowledgeable. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like, give me a share. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know your comments below. Talk to you soon.